Before being introduced to the beautiful city of Montreal through McGill University, I was an extremely confused boy with hundreds of questions with regards to the university search process. Today, I would like to solve the problem of how someone could get started on this university search process and how someone could do efficient research on this matter. The first thing that a lot of people could do, and the first avenue of action that a lot of people could take, is to reach out to their guidance counselor in their high school. This is not an option for everyone, but I think it's a very safe option to kind of get started with if you're from a decently respected institution in your respective country. What guidance counselors obviously do is they have the necessary information with regards to your institution, and they also know the different opportunities that will be appropriate for the students of your caliber, and they have a decent amount of experience with applying to like tertiary level institutions. So they would have a decent amount of advice on the different institutions that you could look at. For me, I didn't really particularly benefit from my guidance counselor, so I had to look at different alternatives. So definitely be very objective with the advice that's presented to you, because I truly don't believe everyone is qualified to give the best advice with regards to university. I don't think that's a common case, but it's something to look out for sure. The second thing that a lot of people could do, and I think this is something that a lot of people rely on, is to reach out to seniors or friends of friends who are in these institutions that you might be interested in, or who have already gotten into university. It's always good to get more information from different parties. Like, you might think a certain institution might not grab your attention, but definitely reach out to someone who's already at university, because it's always good to get a holistic view of the university experience, because it's almost always extremely hard to find a real representation of how the university is. And definitely don't be afraid to reach out to people, because I could always say that at least 90% of the people are going to help you out for sure, because everyone is extremely happy to talk about their respective university and their respective university experiences. So definitely note these things down and just keep reaching out to people, and I'm very, very certain that people would be extremely happy to help. Now, the thing to note with reaching out to people is that there could be a certain level of bias when they speak to you, because a lot of people would have the natural instinct to defend your university. Like in my case, like even if you speak about McGill to me, because I've been involved with a lot of college students, I could give like a very unbiased view, I think. But I still believe that I would try my best to sell McGill, or at least represent McGill in a certain way. And I think that's a very natural instinct, because you are grateful for the institution that you're in, and you're grateful for the education that you get. And that's a general response that a lot of people have. So ask the right questions, and I think I could get to how you can ask the right questions like down the line. But something to keep in mind for sure is that you might not get the best view, but you get a better view than something you would just read on the internet, if that makes sense. A lot of people who are confused about the university process, as soon as they go on Google and they start researching about universities, the first thing that's going to pop up is going to be like a ranking site, something like QS Ranking or US News, for example. Now, there is a lot of criticism of these websites, which I will get to, but I personally think, and let me emphasize on this, that it is a good starting point to your university search process. Because if you go to these websites, you'll see MIT, Harvard, or Stanford in the first three, and the rest of the unis, I don't agree with some of the rankings, but it gives you a decent ballpark understanding of how you can think of these universities. Generally, the more prestigious universities are ranked higher in these lists. Now, one thing to keep in mind with these lists is that, once again, it's not a representative view of these universities, right? The best example I could give is how Waterloo is ranked in QS ranking system. A lot of students definitely think that University of Toronto is the best school for all subjects all across, because as soon as you go on something like QS rankings, University of Toronto will be the first Canadian university listed in all these lists. Anyone who studies in Canada definitely knows that this is not the truth. And the best comparison point is the ranking of the University of Waterloo. University of Waterloo has the largest co-op program in the world, and they are ranked as the 166th university in the world. And in Canada, people would literally the most competitive program within Canada is in Waterloo, and that's a software engineering program in Waterloo, and that's the dream university for a lot of students here. And I actually didn't know that, because even I wasn't informed when I was making a university decision, or not as informed at least. And I actually to this day regret not applying to the University of Waterloo. So I'm definitely plugging that university and definitely look at it. The way you counter the random kind of arbitrary listing of these universities is by filtering these universities according to your subjects of interest, because then you will once again see that the list completely changes. Like some top 100 universities won't even be in like a top 200 list if you kind of like shuffle the subjects and look at, if you filter out for the respective subject that you're studying at. But even then, like if you look at the University of Waterloo, if you look at engineering schools like UBC and U Toronto are ranked above Waterloo, which does not make any sense, because Waterloo, I think, is definitely easily the best engineering school in the country, and if anyone debates that, they actually look kind of stupid within Canada. And the reason why I criticize ranking systems is that there's a reason why there is no universal ranking system in the world. Each one of these websites have their own kind of mechanisms for ranking. They have a certain criteria that each of these websites have, and that will not really give you the best view on what these universities are. So just remember that even if you list down 10 universities that you're interested in your first go, it might probably not be the last list, and always be flexible enough to remove all 10 of those names, because it's always a matter of like trial and error and understanding what these universities kind of give you. So like I said before, just to kind of like summarize everything, you could either reach out to your guidance counselor, you could either reach out to friends or seniors or alumni, or you could go through like rankings and just like read on the internet just to get a bit more information to craft your first university list, so that you could do much more in-depth research about these universities. I will get into how you can research the specific programs and how you can think of the pros and cons down the line, but this is how you can make an initial list, and I hope the rest of the videos would make sense. If you have any feedback for the videos right now, definitely let me know, and if you have different questions that you have, definitely put it across to me so that I could solve them within this how to choose a university series coming up in the next couple of weeks. Thank you, and I hope you have a great day.